Sure, I'll bring it up
right
and we
ahead.
can just kind of touch on it briefly. I think it'd be good. Yeah.
Welcome back to episode 2 of the Screen Therapy Podcast. I am Charlie Rogers. I also go by SeeJayAre online. And today, as always, I can say as always now because we're in episode 2.
That's right.
I'm joined by Nick Steinberg.
Also known as Nick Steinberg. I don't have a cool handle like yours.
AKA.
Yeah.
You have to come up with something.
Okay, how'd you come up with SeeJayAre?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. It's just my initials.
Yeah, but you spell it out like C-S-E-E,
so
which I thought is always interesting.
It was my gamer tag, like my very first gamer tag, and I just couldn't come up with anything super clever, so I was like, I just spell out my initials, and it's been my online name ever since.
Speaking of gamer tags, are you gonna change yours when the PlayStation ones finally come into effect?
No, it's SeeJayAre. I'm SeeJayAre everywhere.
You're lucky.
You can find me everywhere at SeeJayAre.
Mine's so terrible.
What
like
is
I think I put it through one of those like random generators or whatever back when it came out, and it's Roros Rumble. It's like it's a Lord of the Rings reference or whatever or something, and I hate it. Like people are like, oh, it's not that bad. I'm just like, it just doesn't.
Okay, I got a confession to make.
Yeah.
That wasn't my original Xbox Live name. My original Xbox Live name was Skills to Burn.
Skills to Burn? What does that mean?
It was during like the And One era. Do you remember And One? The mixtape basketball era, and I was like, because I was big into basketball.
Yeah, you still are.
So yeah. But like street ball, so I was like, oh yeah, Skills to Burn. But like then like a month later, I'm like, this is dumb. So yeah,
Skills to Burn. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna make it.
Actually, it's probably already taken on Xbox.
Probably.
I don't know if you can still get it because I don't.
PlayStation.
Does it run out of time? Oh yeah, PlayStation.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever did it for PlayStation.
We'll see.
So. Yeah. Anyways, there's been a lot of interesting news that's happened since the last time we met.
Yeah. In terms of gaming news, a lot of it ties into Activision. I don't know if you've noticed this, but I think the big news of the last week has been this kind of fallout / controversy with the Diablo Immortal announcement.
Yeah.
This is the mobile-only Diablo game, and Blizzard, they announced this at BlizzCon during their keynote, and it was how they closed their keynote.
Yep.
So...
The one last thing moment was a mobile Diablo game.
Yeah. What do you think of this? Do you think people are right to be upset?
Well, there's the people in the crowd, I felt, took it a little bit too far, yelling stuff out and, shouting out their anger at these guys who were on stage. Now, we should say, I since have heard that, I don't know if it's actually true or if they're just trying to do like damage control, but they came out and said, well, we were going to announce a new Diablo, but we pulled it at the last minute or something like that, I heard.
Yeah, they had actually released a statement before BlizzCon saying something to the effect of, we have multiple Diablo projects in the works.
Yeah.
We have something to announce at BlizzCon, but the problem was that they didn't mention that during the keynote. I think it could have been really good for damage control if they had said, this isn't the only Diablo, this is the only Diablo game we have to kind of talk about right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I can kind of see the anger, but you mean to be yelling stuff out in the crowd, I think it some people took it a little bit too far. Now, the other reason why people are upset is because the developer of this game is known for making like almost like Diablo clones already. Right. And they're worried that it's going to be a reskin of that. Yeah,
that's right. They're saying, no, it's from the ground up and whatever, and I get it. Like, I don't really have an interest in playing a mobile Diablo game. Yeah. I want to play a new, console or PC version.
It's safe to say that they're working on a PC console Diablo. There's like almost no way that they're not working on it.
No, they definitely are working on like a Diablo 4. It's just something to that effect. But
seems like they're a company that take a long time for things to bake.
Yeah. But did you see the guys on stage also were just so like, I feel like Blizzard's kind of lost a step here. Like they don't understand why fans are a little out of touch. Like they don't understand why fans are upset. Someone on stage said, "What, do you guys not have phones?" And it's like, that's not the issue.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
It was very condescending when they said that.
It was kind of going both ways there. It's like
for a second I felt sorry for the guys on stage.
Yeah.
But then when they said that, and I was like, ooh, that's not
read the room.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is too,
read the room, exactly.
BlizzCon, these guys are paying to be there. It's a fan event.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's how you kind of repay them?
Yeah.
Great.
So I mean, is the Diablo Eternal collection on your radar at all? Did you? I came.
Well,
to
that's
Switch
the Switch
and,
one, right?
Yeah, and it seems like it got pretty good reviews.
Yeah.
Did you play Diablo 3 all the way through?
Yeah. So I've done the story mode and spent quite a bit of time in the kind of adventure, like just go around, level up your guys, collect better and better loot.
Did you
like,
play the
end
Reaper
game.
of Souls expansion?
Yes.
Yeah, you
Yes.
did. Okay. So I think I picked that up cheap somewhere, but I never actually finished the Reaper of Souls content.
Right.
But I played Diablo 3, I believe, on the PS3 with my nephew. Him and I played through it, and we had a ton of fun.
The
so.
console versions are great.
Yeah, I've been thinking about picking it up for the Switch and handing a controller and me and my two boys going through it.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife could too. I think you can play 4-player, can't you?
You can, yeah.
So I might actually pick it up. You know, our thing on our previous podcast, a common theme was, man, this would be great.
Yeah,
on
Diablo,
the Switch,
sure.
right? Like everything.
It's apparently a very good single-player RPG on the Switch. A great, get up and go experience. The problem is on the console versions is that it's all on the same screen, but you can only access one inventory menu at a time. So if you're playing 4-player, all you're doing is waiting around all the time
For
right?
people to go through.
Yeah,
I see
you
what
almost have
you're-
to set like timers, being like, okay, you guys can only
you
change
got a
your
minute.
equipment every whatever half hour, because I don't want to be
okay.
looking at these screens the whole time.
I could see that being an issue.
Yeah, but 2-player, it's pretty manageable.
Yeah, so that's something I'm definitely interested in checking out.
Yeah.
So another a massive piece of news that we got was the announcement of the PlayStation Classic.
Or the full PlayStation Classic lineup.
Sorry, the lineup.
Yeah, because Sony did a weird thing here where they when they first announced it, like, here are 5 games.
Yeah.
We'll reveal the rest later, but you can pre-order it now, which I feel like now that we have the final list.
Yeah, you think that they
did that deliberately because
I think so too.
I don't know about this. Now you're picking one of these up. I think it's anytime there's new hardware, I'm pretty sure. Like, you've got this covered, right?
Yeah, I'll be grabbing one of these.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to. Yeah.
Really? So I'm not, I've mentioned this before, but I'm not the normal consumer, right? Like, clearly.
No, you don't say. This is a completely average video game collection. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm definitely going to grab one. So, if we kind of go through the games here, so... they hit on some big notes here. So we got Metal Gear Solid. I think there would have been a lot of outcry if Metal Gear Solid wasn't on there. We're getting Final Fantasy VII.
Which is also available on pretty much every platform.
Yeah.
Man now.
Tekken 3 is a big one. Twisted Metal. So they're hitting
But not
on...
even Twisted Metal 2. Twisted Metal 2 is the good one.
I know. Twisted Metal... Yeah, you're right. I would much rather Twisted Metal 2. Resident Evil's on there. The big one for me, and most people won't care so much about this, was Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
Right.
Which is a fantastic game that I feel like not a whole lot of people... got the chance to play. Another game like that is Intelligent Cube. I was happy to see that on there. That's a pretty expensive puzzle type game that I've never played.
Oh,
so
okay. So
I don't
might be worth it just for that one, huh?
Yeah, I'm interested to try that out, right? And there's definitely, I'd say, 4 or 5 games on here that you could just have totally take off the list. The one thing that I was most surprised by, and I think that it actually would have really helped people's have a more positive outlook on this.
Yeah.
If you simply substituted for Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Parappa the Rapper,
yeah,
I think that would have gone miles in the eyes of fans to put that game on there. At least to hit on that, classic PlayStation note that, that game's just synonymous with the PS1.
Kind of one of my big problems with this is that there have been almost like remakes or more like remasters of a lot of these games that you can play already on the PS4. You can download them.
Yeah.
I think Abe's Odyssey, I'm pretty sure you can do that with.
Yeah, Resident Evil.
Resident Evil, I mean, that one has been remade already. I mean, remake, right, for the GameCube, but now it's in its best form on current gen platforms. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like Sony dropped the ball a little bit with this.
Yeah, it's really weird. I heard people making the statement that they're not going to put Spyro on because of the HD, and same with Crash, which I thought at the time was silly, and I still think it's silly.
Me too.
Nobody's going to buy this and go, oh, I got Crash Bandicoot 1, so I'm not going to buy the collection. Or I got Spyro the Dragon, the first game, I don't need the HD collection. It's one game out of that trilogy or series, right? So if that's why they didn't put it on, which I'm assuming is why, I think that's really silly.
Yeah. But you know what game they really missed? Tomba.
Yeah, that's funny. Funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my post. I just posted.
I did. That's why I mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah, Tomba's an interesting game, but that's like a very. It's kind of niche. Like I don't think
it is.
I had no concept of Tomba when I originally had my PS1.
I played the demo a lot. I had
I
had a demo
hearing.
disc. Yeah.
My buddy
Never
Matt,
actually bought
Gamer
it.
Alley, keeps mentioning that he played the demo. And I don't remember playing the demo, but so we've got Siphon Filter, which was a great game at the time, but shooters just do not
hold up. I mean,
they don't hold up at all.
Yeah.
So I could do without that. Mr. Driller, interesting ad there.
Yeah, the original Rayman's
that's
great,
a good one.
But
yep.
I mean, I already have that on my
that holds
Vita.
up pretty well though. It looks pretty
does.
good. So
yeah, it's that that art style.
Yeah,
it really holds up. Yeah.
Cool Borders 2 is a game that I played to death when I was a kid,
Yeah.
or high school teenager. But do I want to go back? Like that game just doesn't hold up. Same with Destruction Derby. Loved that game, but it's really not.
It's just gonna be a bunch of ugly cars slamming into each other. I don't know. Yeah.
So we'll see. A lot of those games I haven't even played, and I'm purposely not playing them because I want to have a little bit of fun and go back to them on that day. I recently pulled out my PS1 there to show the boys some of the games. So we were playing through Tomba a little bit, but I'm still excited. Another place where I think they dropped the ball was I really think that they should have added Bluetooth support or whatever. Is it Bluetooth?
Right, to have cordless
for
controllers.
PS3 controllers, PS4 controllers.
Yeah.
I can't be the only one. I haven't heard anybody else say this. I'm sure other people have come up with that, but that would have been such a simple solution for wireless controllers and the dual analog.
Yeah, and I think it would have been a nice act of goodwill to kind of offset the higher asking price for this.
Yeah.
It's priced at what, $100?
Yeah.
And that's US.
Yeah, 130 here. So maybe they could have included one controller and put that functionality in.
Yeah.
Everybody's got, PS3, PS4 controller laying around, or you can pick one up for pretty cheap. That to me was a really big missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I said, it would have alleviated the dual analog.
Yeah, it sucks because I was looking forward to this bit because I really do love the original PlayStation, but I had the Super Nintendo Classic, and I feel like that really hit on the quality.
The Super Nintendo Classic was great. Yeah. So
if you can mod this though, which
go.
is a question though, because I mean PlayStation 1 games are quite a bit bigger than Super Nintendo files.
So you just hit on. I was just gonna say, if you're able to mod this, none of this matters.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Sony, if they're smart, would have made it pretty simple to mod because they're gonna sell a ton of these.
Yeah.
If people know that they
what do they care afterwards?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so if people can just put games on, but then you're right, it comes down to storage.
Yeah.
So if they're, I think, so like Final Fantasy is like 1.5 gigs, I believe.
Right, like all 3 discs or whatever.
I find it hard to believe that there would be an 8 gigabyte storage on there for 20 games. So most likely there's 16.
Okay.
So
and you're thinking maybe it doesn't add up to quite that much?
If there's 16, I think there'll be plenty of room for added games. You know, like for me, if I can add even 5 games to this, that's a big deal for me.
Yeah.
I'd throw Symphony of the Night on there, Crash.
100%, yeah.
I don't know what else. Wu-Tang, Shaolin style. Not really. It's not a great game.
Okay.
Yeah, but so we'll see. That'll really be the determining factor for a lot of people like me who are collectors and have a lot of these games, for them to kind of double dip and pick something like this up.
But it'll be a nice thing to just have on your shelf regardless. This nice little mini PlayStation. Yeah.
Quick question.
Yes.
If you can get a classic console for any other console right now, what would it be?
Probably the N64.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
We're gonna differ there.
What would be yours?
Sega Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, I take it back.
So I've had this conversation.
Yeah.
If Sega were to do that, all they would need were most of the great games on there were first party Sega.
Yeah.
Capcom. All they would have to do is get Capcom on board and
get Power Stone 2 on there, and I'm in.
And one other company, maybe. I don't even know who. Namco. You could have Soul Calibur.
Yeah. And why not? I mean, Sega, they recently released a Genesis kind of classic.
It's
right?
The official one, I believe, made by Sega is going to be coming soon. I think
it's coming out soon. Okay.
Because they're not happy with the quality of those at-games ones.
Right.
So,
okay.
We'll see. But the N64 will be the next one. Pretty positive.
I think they've already kind of, well, they haven't announced
I'm still going to say that there's going to be less than 15 games on that.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I have a feeling, for one, there's no more than 10 good games on the N64.
Oh, yes, your classic controversial. I mean, there's at least 15. Come on, yeah.
It gets really hard though. After
It does.
10, it gets hard to come up with.
Yeah, I mean those top games are really good, but then after that, yeah.
It'll be interesting, like price wise, because they're going to have to include 4 controller ports, so that's going to bring the cost up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, I would assume they would probably just throw in 2 controllers and then be like, you gotta buy the extras.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, to actually put the ports in, and
yeah,
I think it'll be a little bit pricier, and I think there's definitely gonna be less games, so to offset that. So
for sure. So Charlie, we have had a very, very big game released since the last time we met.
Yeah, arguably the biggest release of the year.
Yeah, I think you can very well make that argument. Yes, I'm talking about Red Dead Redemption 2, of course. This is, the big new Western game from Rockstar, the sequel, and prequel to Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, Rockstar's first game in, what did we say, 8 years, was it?
Well, 5.
5.
Grand Theft Auto 5 came out 2013 originally.
That was only 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Seems like that came out like an eternity ago.
I know.
There's been so many versions of it, right?
Yeah, and it stayed relevant because of GTA Online.
Yeah. So I've been looking forward to talking about Red Dead Redemption with you. So Red Dead Redemption 2, very slow.
Yes.
Very hard to get into.
Deliberately slow.
Yes. And this is going to scare off a lot of people who bought this game. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, there's going to be a lot of people who bought this game that aren't going to get more than 2 or 3 hours into it and never go back to it.
Yeah.
So for them to create a game that starts that slow and has a very slow pace throughout, a very cinematic pace, which I love.
Yeah.
But for a game that is this big of a release and this kind of mainstream, because I think that with the build-up, I think Red Dead Redemption is being picked up by almost everyone. I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed, and maybe not disappointed so much as I just don't think it's a game that people are going to get much into.
Right. This is one of the weirdest AAA games I think I've ever played.
Yep.
And part of the reason is in terms of just how big it is. We've had Rockstar has revealed sales data, and it's already moved, I think, 17 million units in 2 weeks. And to put that into perspective, that is more than the original Red Dead Redemption has sold in terms of lifetime sales.
Yeah.
So that means more people have picked it up than played the original.
Yes.
Which is just
that's kind of a testament to I mean, like, this game has really hit mainstream. Yeah. And not that the last game wasn't, but if people are
didn't know. Yeah.
People are picking this game up expecting GTA on horses, they're going to be wrong.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So the game starts off in snow, so it's like crazy blizzard. Totally reminded me of the Hateful Eight. I don't know if you've seen the.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
So very slow pacing, very cinematic.
Yes.
I loved it, but there was a point where I'm like, okay, when am I going to be able to? When's the game going to open up?
For sure.
And then it kind of does a thing where it kind of opens up to a smaller area, almost like Zelda when it did that little first plateau that you were on. Right. And it kind of lets you learn the way of the land and how things work.
Are you talking about kind of the first camp area?
Yeah. Okay. So they kind of open up some missions slowly. Then you're like, okay, well, there's this town over here where you can go meet there's a saloon and an inn and the stable, and it kind of slowly introduces mechanics.
Yeah. What I like about it is that, unlike pretty much I think every Rockstar game, correct me if I'm wrong, but they never had the kind of fog of war, you know what I mean, with the map, where you're revealing it as you go. Yep. I'm pretty sure that...
Did it happen in the first one with the Mexico?
I don't know. I thought the whole map was revealed from the start. Maybe I'm
wrong.
I
can't remember.
I can't remember, but I think that's an interesting part of it because I feel like because part of the narrative is that this gang is always kind of moving east, which is weird, right? Because it's supposed to be a Western, and they make kind of a very big deal out of that. But you're also you're like, how far is this going? Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So it's the kind of game where even myself, I've found, I think I've only put 5-6 hours in.
Oh, is that it?
And I've been finding it hard to sit down and get its hooks in me. Where I've gone through, I don't think I've played more than an hour and a half in one session.
Yeah. I feel like this is especially one of those games that you have to play for a few hours at a time.
And I feel like it's one of those games where you have to play it exclusively.
Yeah,
like,
almost.
Yeah, you know, so like I feel like if I want to mix other games in, which I have, which I'll talk about after this, but it's really been kind of taking me away from Red Dead. I feel like at least me personally, I have to be all Red Dead or no Red Dead.
It's kind of all consuming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just because this is such a gigantic game.
Yeah.
And just everything, like from the size of the map and what you can do to just the little details. Like, it's just insane. That, I mean, I know that a big deal was made out of, you know, how much time Rockstar spent on this in terms of like crunch and overtime. And I mean, it was in development for 8 years, and wow, does it show. I don't think I've ever seen a game with this kind of production value. Yeah,
it literally looks like a movie set. Like the vistas, the trees, the grass blowing in the wind look photorealistic, as close to I've seen to photorealistic. Now the character models look a little, they're not the best. They still, I feel like
some of them are worse than others.
Yeah, the close-up faces a lot of times look great, but I just found like the models a little bit looked a little last gen. But I always felt Dutch looks weird. But maybe that's just his design. But like your main character, Arthur, like he looks really good. He looks great. Yeah. And I love the fact that you can like grow his beard and you have to groom. And I'm in the process of growing out a nice beard. So it sounds like I'm quite a bit further than you. Okay. I think I've put between 20 and 30 hours in so far. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. So I can't even remember what the last mission I did was. I was tracking. Oh, I had just opened up the area where you can gamble. Okay. And play poker. Man, the poker is so good. I know. Like, I think a good hour of that time was spent playing poker. You want to talk about details that are unnecessary? Yeah. Like, you see every card get thrown out, and when he switches to someone else dealing, you know, your character will kind of give the guy the cards, and it kind of goes through. And there's like not really a way to skip it. Yeah. I was playing a lot of blackjack yesterday because there's the gambling challenges, right? And you have to get so many, and I was just like, man, I could just keep playing this. This is great. The best way I would describe this game is it's a cowboy simulator, right? Or a wild old west simulator, and sim being the key word. This is not GTA. This is a very plotted game where you've got to travel using your horse, and you know, even the mode. I did get frustrated by times where I'm like, can I jog at least right now, or to get to this place? Oh, man, when you're in the camp, you just move so slow, and it's so frustrating sometimes. I'm like, I just want to get to that character on the other side, and I have to. But it's all part of the experience, and I do appreciate it. It's just I really hope that I can get back into it, and you know. The issue is that there's other games coming out, and I like to play everything. So, hopefully, I'll be able to get into this a little more. I love it. The more time I put into it, the more I adore this game. Yeah, and I kind of know that that's going to happen for me too. Yeah, I think you'll feel that hook. But it's also a game that I completely understand people being put off by. Yeah, it can be kind of boring for stretches. Yeah, and for some reason, it's still entertaining to me, even the kind of boring stuff. Like, I actually am into like taking care of my horse, grooming him. Like, my guy's face was getting dirty, and I was like, where do I find a bathtub? And I went to the hotel, and I'm like, I gotta clean myself. And then like, you can get the upgraded wash where the girl comes in and washes your legs. Oh yeah, I paid for that. Yeah, it's only a quarter. Yeah, it's only a quarter. Yeah. I was like, what's happening? And you get some conversation, She reaches down in the water, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Yeah, so this is a very conversation-heavy game, and one of my favorite new mechanics is that you can target every NPC in the world, and you have kind of options. And dogs, you can pat the dogs, which is always, that's like my mark of a good game. I'm like, what, can I interact with the dog? Can I play with them? Can I pet them? Yes, okay, good. So now I've seen that you can, if you pet the dogs, the next time you come through town, they won't bark at you. Is that right? That's what I've heard. Oh, okay. I just got to a spot where a stray dog wandered into the camp. Oh, okay. And then, you know, John Marston's son, Jack, is like, oh, Uncle Arthur, can we keep him? And he's just like, yeah, he's a good boy. And just, I'm like, okay, I want to pet him. It's, but yeah, as you're going through town, you can like hit the button where like, and then the guy greet him. Like, yeah, hey, I greet like everybody. I'm just like, hey, how's it going? And just. And now I thought I read that can also open up. Yeah, it can. Other dialogue situations and trees. Yeah, and also,
in terms of conversation detail, I kind of want to go over this thing that happened to me when I was playing last night. And I was like, are you kidding me? They put this in the game? So, you know how you can, you'll have random encounters, how some of them are tied to those kind of like white question mark side missions.
Yes.
And then other ones are just random things that'll happen. It'll just be like a little white dot on the screen and someone's like, hey, I need help or something, whatever. So I was going along and this guy comes out of the woods and he's like, I was bit by a snake.
Yes.
Okay, have you gotten to that?
Yep.
Okay, so I helped him out, right? I gave him some medication. He was fine, and then it's like, went on his way. I'm like,
Didn't
okay,
you
cool.
at one point wasn't it an option that you could suck out the venom?
Yes. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. But I was like, oh, cool, I have meds, so yeah you'll be all right.
Yeah, helped him out.
Yeah, so I think that was happening near the Valentine or something like that, right? And so now I'm in a different area of the map. Like I've gone east.
Exploring,
I'm in this town called Rhodes, and I'm just walking along, and there's these two guys sitting on a bench, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy who helped me with the venom." He's like, he saved my life, and he's like, "Sir, I just want to say I want to repay you. If you go into the shop, you can pick out one item and it's on me."
That's amazing.
And I went and bought like a cool outfit and stuff. And I'm like,
awesome.
Are you kidding? This is so cool. So now I'm just like, everything is connected. It's just...
That's cool. I
didn't
realize that. I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Yeah.
The one, I don't know if you saw this one, but there was a guy, he was fighting with his horse, and the horse like bucks him and kicks him, and he kills him.
I was like...
You hear him yelling at this horse and trying to like get his horse under control, and then all of a sudden, boom, the horse just kicks him and he's dead. So what I did was looted the guy. I'm like, he's dead. So no one, and then it got, I guess I didn't put on you have to put on your bandana when you loot somebody like that. And then all of a sudden I had a bounty on me.
Yeah,
so.
I'm very frustrated with the kind of crime and bounty system in this game. Like that, for instance.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes it feels random. Like if you're looting bodies or something
agree.
and it's like, crime reported. I'm like, there's no one around.
Yeah.
How could you... Sometimes there is, and it makes sense. You can go chase them down and be like, hey, it was a misunderstanding. But...
I guess the thing is, I think you just have to remember to put on your bandana when you do that, and I think you're okay.
Maybe.
So, but then if you leave your bandana on, people are like,
ooh,
oh, what are you up to? And they call the police or sheriff or marshals or whatever they're called in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do really like this game. I don't want to make it sound like I'm down on it, but I just understand that it's very slow, which I do appreciate, but... for it to get its hooks in me and me to exclusively play this, which I feel like I would have to, it's tough, especially this time of year.
Yeah, I've been just sucked away by Blackout in Call of Duty 4.
Yeah, I haven't
still
even
playing
gone
it.
back to that.
Yeah, I'm getting a little better at it.
Did you get into zombies mode at all?
No, I still have.
It's
I literally
fun.
have not touched the other modes.
Yeah, I did play a little bit of zombies. Great fun there, and I would think for you because you play a lot of like couch co-op games.
Yeah, probably like none of my friends are
too.
into it.
Really?
They're like, I don't want to play zombies.
Well, when Blackout is that good, then it's hard to do anything but that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gone back to Blackout, but you're still enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really want to, but the one thing that's been taking up my time in the last couple of days is Tetris Effect on the PS4.
Yes.
So Tetris Effect is a game that is done by Tetsuya Mizuguchi. I hope I didn't butcher that. But famed video game director. He did Rez, Luminous, which is one of my favorites.
Oh, I love Luminous. Yeah.
So basically Tetris Effect is the combination of Tetris and Luminous. So big focus on visuals and sound. That's kind of what he's known for. The game was published by Enhance Games and done by a Japanese studio called Resonare. I actually just posted a review of the game on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SeeJayAre, shameless plug. So you can go check it out there.
It's your show, you can do that. Yeah.
I love this game. I'm a big fan of puzzle games, and obviously I grew up, I had Tetris on my original Game Boy back in 1988 or 9.
One of the greatest games ever made.
Oh man, so they've really freshened up Tetris for 2018, and that's really awesome.
That's not an easy thing to do.
No.
Like it's you're kind of like casually throwing that statement around, but I mean there have been a lot of different versions of Tetris over the years,
and mostly not great.
It's tough. Yeah.
So it is very tough. Yeah, to breathe fresh air into this, decades-old puzzle game.
Yeah. Is there multiplayer of any sort?
Now, I thought there would be. Like, I thought there'd be a couch co-op, but not that I've seen so far. I dug pretty deeply in the game and didn't find anything. Basically, it's split up into journey mode, which you just played for a few minutes before the podcast.
Yeah. Let me try. You're like, you gotta try this out before we record. Yeah.
So that's like the single player campaign, and then that's kind of how you unlock the different stages and skins and music and I guess you call it like themes or worlds. Excuse me. And then there's also effect mode, which is a whole bunch of different variations on Tetris. So I don't know if you played Puyo Puyo Tetris at all.
Yes.
So you know that one mode where it's like the stack's already created, but there's like a space for whatever piece, and you have to find the orientation. It's like you're fitting a key in, then it drops, and then there's like another one you have to fit in, then it drops. So they have that mode in there. I think it's called complete mode. I can't remember what it's called, but it's fantastic. There's also stuff like purify mode, which is kind of like Dr. Mario, where you're trying to get rid of infected blocks.
Okay.
And then my favorite was mystery mode. I really should have had you play mystery mode. Which I don't want to say too much about it because I want it to be a mystery. Basically, it just throws all kinds of obstacles at you, mostly bad. So it'll do stuff while you're playing the game to kind of throw you off.
Okay.
And it's really interesting.
Nice.
But yeah, Tetris Effect is a fantastic game. It's exclusive to the PlayStation 4.
And there's a VR mode in it.
Yes, there's a VR component, which apparently is really good. I think it retails for $40 US, which a lot of people, would be pretty pricey for a puzzle game.
It seems like quite a bit for a Tetris game.
Yeah, I feel like if it was like 30, at 30, great deal.
Okay.
I still think it's worth it at 40. If you're a big fan of Tetris games or Mizuguchi games or Lumines, to me, it'd be a day one pickup.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you think like it has pretty good replayability?
I do. It's got all kinds of leaderboards. I played it on normal mode. You can play it on beginner, then move to expert. There's, I think, community challenges that they're going to be coming out with each week, something like that I read. So quite a bit of game there for a puzzle game.
You know what console I hope this comes to?
The Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Because, okay, I don't know, a little known fact about me is I'm obsessed with Picross on the Switch.
Oh,
it is the game I've played the most on Switch. I think I must have like 100 hours or something ridiculous.
Awesome.
It's my like fall asleep game. You know, you pick it up, it's like you play like 20 minutes and you start, it's great.
It's my Sunday morning with coffee game. Like a couple rounds.
I picked up season 2 recently because I ran out of puzzles in the other game.
Nice. So it's like $12, is there something like that? It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, and you get your money's worth out of that, but I'm just thinking, wow, Tetris Effect on that? Yeah.
I know. Of course, that was the first thing I thought too.
It could run on there.
Yeah, I couldn't see why. Now it does run on the PS4 Pro in 4K, 60 frames. But,
I don't need that.
I don't think it's too graphically. Yeah, you're okay with playing it in 480p on the
480p.
Well, whatever that thing.
No, you're underselling it.
Yeah,
no, it's some form of HD.
It would look great on the Nintendo Switch. So, is there anything else that you've been playing since the last time we met?
In terms of video games, no.
Yeah,
no.
so mainly.
Sorry, that's a disappointing.
Well, like I said, Red Dead Redemption.
It's been kind of all-consuming, and then when I'm not playing that, I'm playing Blackout online.
Yeah. So I played a couple, just to touch briefly, this month on PSN Plus was Bulletstorm Full Clip.
Let's talk about that. Yeah.
So I went back into it, and I forgot how douchey the game was.
Oh yeah,
the writing is extremely douchey.
Yeah. Well, it's from was it Epic Games? No, or Cliff Blazinski was involved in it in some capacity.
And I think Duke Nukem. There's some Duke Nukem content with this one.
Yeah, he was like an added character.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a full clip edition. Sure. Really fun arcade shooter. Super gory. I had to make sure that the boys weren't around for this one.
This is the one where you're going through missions and it's like you're kind of getting rated on how you're killing guys. Like
you have like
combos. You can kick them. You have like a
shoot them,
lasso thing,
pull them back and kick them again.
Yeah.
So it's a fun game. It looks. It's been up-resed for the PS4 because it originally came out on the PS3 and 360.
Yep.
But it does look a bit dated, but still a ton of fun. So I played a bit of that. Mm-hmm. The one that I was more excited for was Yakuza Kiwami, which is a remake of the first Yakuza, which I played way back on the PS2, and I don't remember anything about it. I don't think I played any more than like 5 or 10 hours of it.
Sure.
So I was excited to play this, and I actually think I might sink some time into this. So that's been pulling me away from Red Dead 2. Yeah. The graphics are great. Everything's been updated. All the visuals have been redone.
Is it more of a remaster or a remake?
It's a remake.
Oh, cool.
Like, it looks night and day.
Right.
Like it's been brought into 2016 or whatever.
Yeah.
It looks great. You know, going back and playing the original Yakuza on the PS2 would be a tough task at this time.
Yeah.
You know, just graphics wise and stuff. But playing on the PS4, I like getting that hit of Japanese game. Like whether it's Persona, I love going. One, it's all in Japan, and I love the Japanese-ness of these games.
Yeah, I've heard that the cool thing with Yakuza games is that pretty much all of them are set kind of in the same part. It's in Tokyo, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. But that like they're not like a huge kind of open world thing, but like the places you do get to explore are very detailed and like have kind of this it's like another character almost.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that. I go back to like Rockstar's, my favorite Rockstar game was Bully, because it's an open world game, but it's still a pretty contained space, and it's not too overwhelming. That's totally how this game is. And from what I remember, I think this is like almost like, not like it doesn't have anything to do with Shenmue, but if you were a person like I was in the Shenmue on the Dreamcast, this is like the natural progression.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like a spiritual successor.
Yes, like it kind of went into like Yakuza, and it feels very much like that. Essentially, it's an beat 'em up RPG, and the fighting mechanics are very arcadey, a lot of fun, ridiculous. Like you're hitting guys with all kinds of weird objects and stuff. So, but very Japanese, long drawn out cutscenes. But I'm into that. Like, it's all Japanese voice acted with subtitles. And yeah.
This is one, like, when I saw what the November PlayStation Plus lineup was, I was like, you know, Bold Star, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's one I've always wanted to go back to. And I was like, oh, Yakuza.
Yeah.
This is the series I've always kind of wanted to try, but it's never, like, enough to purchase one.
Yeah.
But
it's not for everyone. Like I said, like, I think I spent an hour on some crazy mission where I was buying a girl a ring, and then somebody pickpocketed me, and I chased him around for a half hour, and he was here, then he ran away again, then he ran away again, and then he told me after I caught him that he pawned the ring. Then I had to go to the pawn shop, and the guy's like, well, you have to buy it back. Then I didn't have any money left because I had just bought the ring, so then I had to go borrow money. Like, it was very like doing all this stuff just to get this ring to this girl. But I love the Japanese-ness of this game.
Do you think this will be kind of a launching point for you to check out other games in the series?
That's kind of what's been holding me back, right? Like, I've seen the new ones come out, and I hear how great they are. I'm just like, well, I really want to experience the first ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love the thought of playing through all the Yakuza series.
Right.
You know, whether or not I ever do that or even get any further through this one.
Sure.
Who knows, but I think it's
Red
worth,
Dead out.
Yeah, I think it's worth checking out. You know, even if you're just like, I'm going to check this out for 2 hours.
Of course.
I think it's worth just kind of seeing what it's like.
Yeah.
So, is that it for you for video game wise?
For video games, yeah, that would about cover it.
Now, movies. Have you seen any movies since the last time we met?
No, I've been watching a lot of TV lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been gone out to see anything new. I think I'm kind of stuck with like decision paralysis when it comes to what I want to see right now.
Yeah, I don't even know what's really out.
Well, I mean, First Man is still out, and that's the one I really want to see, but my girlfriend hates space movies, so it's like, all right. You know, and I think we both kind of want to see A Star is Born. We touched on this last time, though. I don't need to go into it. But
both good choices.
Yeah, I guess Bohemian Rhapsody's out now, but I just don't...
I'll be waiting on that for it to come to Netflix or something.
Although, there's been some new Netflix movies that I want to check out. The first one is Apostle, which I hear is, like, really hard to watch.
No, there's one with Chris Pine.
Yeah, that came out today. I forget what it's called, but it's something to do with like I'm gonna butcher it. It's
a king, some sort of king.
Yeah, it's like the Scottish king.
Yeah.
He has a Scottish accent in it. I don't know specifically what period of history it deals with, so I don't want to get into that. So it looks good though. I think.
The only movie that I saw by myself, and on an afternoon, I was one of 2 people in the theater.
Amazing. I love that.
Mid-90s.
Oh, okay.
So directed,
Jonah Hill,
directed by Jonah Hill, his directorial debut.
Right.
Basically, it's a coming-of-age story in the mid-90s, which is perfect because that's when I was like 14, 15 years old. So I could relate to a lot of this. I had a lot of friends. I wasn't a skateboarder then. It's very skateboarding-centric. It takes place in Los Angeles in the mid-90s. But in terms of like teenage debauchery, I'll call it, drinking,
sure,
girls, drugs. It was very much. I could relate to
a coming of age kind of thing.
Yeah. I could relate to it a lot. Yeah. You know, a lot of my friends I could see in a lot of these guys in this film.
Right.
So he basically casted a bunch of non-actors because it was so skateboarding centric, and he wanted that portion of it to be authentic. But the main actor, whose name is Sunny Suljic,
Okay.
maybe he's Croatian, he did a good job. He was fantastic. He's the main character. He's a bit younger than the rest of the guys in this, and he's got kind of a bad home life. They kind of all do, and they kind of rally around that and come together as like this group of friends that, you know, it doesn't seem like it, but they really care for each other, and it's just a fantastic coming of age story. He's got an abusive older brother, single parent home, and it's just a really good coming of age story. Fantastic soundtrack. It's all like 90s hip hop. It's got lots of rock,
like rock and stuff.
Where did you would actually really like the soundtrack where it's got like Where Did You Sleep Last Night? The Nirvana Unplugged, you know that one?
Yeah.
In the pines. You know what I mean? The one Pixies song is on there.
Where's My Mind?
Nope, the other one.
Miss.
I can't remember.
Okay.
No, I can't remember. Anyways, the soundtrack's
I've been
great.
listening to a lot of Pixies lately. They're good.
Yeah. You can literally ask. You can check out the Spotify playlist. And
it's I'll check that out.
One song you gotta hear, I'd love to know your thoughts on it, is Watermelon Man by Herbie Hancock. Really weird song.
Don't know if I know that one.
So good. I didn't know it either.
Okay.
But the soundtrack to this film's fantastic. So that really helped the movie out. It's a great movie.
Okay.
I would recommend you go see it.
All right,
it's very like indie, so I don't know how many places.
Yeah.
I saw it at a pretty big theater. I thought it might be playing at the Apollo, which is right by your house.
They'll get it at some point. Yeah.
But no, I saw it at like the big Cineplex, which I thought was interesting that they had it.
Yeah, I mean they'll probably carry it for a week and then get rid of it.
So that's all I've really seen movie-wise. But in terms of television, what have you been consuming?
The big newer thing is I completed Daredevil season 3. Now you haven't started this or anything, right?
No.
Do you have plans to?
I left off. I don't even think I watched any. I think I watched the first 2 episodes of season 2.
Oh, okay.
And just for no reason, I enjoyed it. I just kind of fell out of it.
Yeah. I don't know. We covered this a bit on the last episode, so I don't want to get too into it. But overall, I enjoyed it. I think it does set up some cool things for a potential season 4, but who knows if that's even going to happen at this point, because Netflix has already canceled like half their Marvel shows.
Now, do you think that, so I'm assuming that they're going to have plans on producing that content on their side?
Right. That's the only thing I can think of. It's like maybe these Netflix contracts are up. Like no one is saying anything, because I think those questions have come up with kind of the Daredevil creative team, and I don't think they've given any kind of concrete answers as to what's to happen. And I think that'd be a shame, because I think this season did some really cool things. One character in particular that I've never really liked, but I felt like I finally clicked with this season is Karen. She's like the one, the kind of like legal aid who helps them. But is she from True Blood?
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea.
Start,
okay. She
the redhead.
Yeah, right? Kind of strawberry blonde. Yeah. But she becomes a reporter in season 2, and it touches more into that in this season. And she actually gets kind of a flashback episode, which delves into her past, and it's honestly one of the best parts of the entire season, just because it's so interesting and kind of like depressing and whatever. And the problem is that it doesn't really land the execution, because it doesn't end up being really that important to what's going on, and feels like kind of a unnecessary diversion, but it's really well done, so I could kind of forgive it. The finale was kind of hit and miss.
Well, this season brought back the Kingpin, you were saying.
Yeah,
is it Vincent D'Onofrio?
Vincent D'Onofrio, yeah.
Is that him?
Oh, man.
I think
we had a debate about his, how to pronounce his name last time, and I don't want to,
It's the guy who played Thor in Adventures of the Babysitter.
That's right, yeah. He's excellent. I mean, but they kind of turn him into, it just gets so ridiculous as to how many steps ahead he is of everyone. It's like he's thought of every possibility, and you're just like, okay, come on. It's like where he's more of like a I mean, he really is a super villain. Like, he becomes the kind of the Kingpin in this. Like, he's wearing the white suit like the whole time, which I think is really cool. And people really start calling him the Kingpin and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, some cool twists and turns. I think it's definitely worth checking.
Yeah, I definitely will. It's definitely on my list. Now I know that you've been watching another superhero show.
Yes, very different in tone.
Yes,
The Flash.
Yeah, so much that I've been watching it with my family.
Yeah, and that's completely acceptable.
Yep.
Yeah, you would never watch Daredevil with your boys, but
you know,
The Flash,
I love Netflix shows. Or I know this was originally on the WB or something, was it?
Yeah, CW is what it's called now.
Yeah, like teen
it's still going. Yeah,
but I love shows that we can kind of all watch as a family.
Yeah,
and I love it because my oldest boy Andrew, he's like So if I miss part of the episode, I come back and he's like, "Okay, so is it Barry Allen?"
Yeah.
So Barry just did this, and this he's telling me all about it. So.
Yeah, it's kind of my casual watch show. It's like I put it on when I'm like eating dinner or something, and
light.
It's like and I'll stop an episode halfway through and be like, I'll come back to it. I think I can figure out what was going on. You know, it's very much a villain of the week structure, but there is a very cool. I mean, I'm almost done